Okay, in the beginning, just start with those skills, second, third, fourth, then the first. Now, what is important is watch if the tempo is moving the boss, so you move with it. Don't stay behind to miss with skills. When the gate is down, you can talk with the sorcerer, but it's good that you queue those mobs. It's best choice if you use the third spell on one, the sorcerer uses one skill on the other one, both day, and they don't swap the tempo. Once you come here, try to stay a little bit behind the Templar, so the other mobs aggro on him and not on you. When running upstairs, if you want to take a little bit less damage, just don't attack right away, at least until the Templar moves. And always walk behind the Templar. If you want, take 1, 2, 3 clicks of heal. Just watch the Templar so you're not much slower than him. Okay, when you're inside, you can use the second spell and the third spell non-stop. The one condition is always stay far behind the Templar and only walk where he had walked before. Do not aggro mobs. He needs to have hit the mobs in order for you not to get aggro. There is no spawn on the first boss of mobs, so it's fine, you don't need to move. As you see here, I'm moving a little bit slower so I don't take mobs on me. I'm waiting for him to take the mobs. Also, do not save DPs whatsoever. The idea is to go faster. The faster you kill the mobs, the faster you get it new DP, and the faster the Templar gets his DP, and you move faster in general. Also, when some boss spawns, unless there are a lot of mobs, do not waste DPs. Now, this boss makes fear. The fear is on 2 targets. So it will be on the Templar and one other, being you or the sorcerer at random. If one of you don't move, I mean, for example, if the Templar jumps towards the wall, he's away from you, he will not fear any one of you. Or you can move on your own towards the middle of the room, for example. See, the sorcerer did not move and got feared. And the Templar didn't move either. Because they are lazy. We were on TeamSpeak. As you show, I did not use the third spell until I saw for certain that the Templar had the mobs. Now in this case I did not use the DP right away because I was worried that the boss will spawn and I will take it right away, even though I did take it. Templar retook the aggro fast. What is very important that I did not mention, use the potions always when you lose the 30% of HP. You know, not necessarily when you lose just 20, but if you lose 30, use small potion always. So you have the potions ready when you actually need to use the big one, for example. See, here I did not attack the mobs right away. When I see the more mobs start respawning, I stop for half a second, so I make sure the Templar has the mobs on him and I don't take the aggro. I did that twice, or 3 times, I'm not sure. Also, when the boss, this boss Caliga dies, as you saw, we move back to the middle, so we don't take the aggro of the new respawning mobs. Here it's good the Templar marks fast because, for example, I thought the boss used the skills already and I took it instead of avoiding it. I thought it was already done. Now, best case scenario is if the boss is slightly away from the middle, so not all the mobs spawn, but even like this should be fine if you're careful. When you have a lot of potions, you can, as a gladiator, you can choose to take 1, maybe 2 skills, but do not take everything. You need to be avoiding at least every second skill, and it's really important that you avoid the marble something, you know, the skill that she uses on 10%. This skill. You need to avoid this shit. Okay, as a Templar, your third spell is your best friend. It is the only skill that hits for certain the target. Make sure you're always marking the bosses, so when the others are targeting, you can target them easier, and also for you, if you want to pull something else instead, and you can retarget back to the boss fast. Now, when you go down, as you see here, I'm moving here on those mobs to take them on me, because otherwise they will be attacking the Guardian and the Scepter. They are not gonna kill them, but the problem will be that when you go up, they will need to actually heal from the circle, and that will lose you time. Of course, if you're doing well, 5 seconds, 10 seconds will not matter. But if you want to run for record time, or if you were doing many runs, every 1 minute less is faster for you. Oh, for example, if you do 10 runs, that's 10 minutes faster. If you want, you can take 1 tick, but don't overdo it. Your shoot is healing you anyway. There are a few choices. You can pull the entire room, you can pull half of the room, or you can pull 2/3 like me. I prefer like this, because for me this is the best rotation regarding DP. Especially if you if you forgot to use gel in the beginning. I do not use this shield that I just used normally when I don't have DP, but now I don't know, I just want to waste it. As I said before, third spell to pull the boss is always on you. That's really important that you remember to keep it for the boss spawn. As you see, I'm moving the boss little by little here to the spawn of the mobs, so I can take the mobs of the new rotation. And when you move and kite the mobs, make sure you always move through the middle between the 4 mobs. Why? Because this is the only way that you will ensure all mobs will aggro on you. Try to hit everything, because once you hit a mob with whatever skill, it's always on you. But if you just walk by them, they will aggro on you, and if someone of the others hit them, they can still go on them, even though they are chasing you. You have to account that your skills have 8 targets, so you cannot be hitting way too many mobs at the same time. As you see, fear, and you jump towards the wall, so the others don't get the second target here. Move back the boss like this. You don't know which, if you're not with friends and you are with randoms, try to always move the people with by moving the boss, so they are on the other side of the boss and you don't get them here. You don't know with who you are playing all the time. You want to optimize the run as much as you can. Move here, take the user spam of the middle mobs, and then again kite through the middle of all the mobs that you want to get. When you're like this, move slowly towards the middle, because as I said before, you would always want to have third power to use on the boss to take it, and so on. Now, what I'm doing right now, it's not really necessary, but I prefer getting a little bit more points in DP meanwhile, while hitting this boss. Now here why I'm doing this is I did not notice that boss killed, and I'm moving back and forth waiting for other mobs to spawn, so I'll take them on me. While also thinking that I need to move the boss away from the middle because a lot of mobs will spawn there and they will attack the Guardian Sorcerer, and I do not want that. As you see, I take the mobs here to secure the area, because this is where I want to put committee. I make a little bit body pool in order to save my pool instead of wasting it and then not having it for the boss itself. Boss spawns like after 460k points, for which but not right away. It takes a few seconds, so just wait for it. I made that body pool in order to make being able to click with the mouse on the boss. Always with the pool on out of cooldown, pull mobs so the others can kill them and you get TP, both you and the DPS. I'm famous. And if you make a mistake like I did just now, using the pool instead of on the mobs on the boss, make a little bit body pool, but be really careful. Now on this skill, if you have the DP shield on you and you have the fourth skill ready, you can shield the sorcerer or the guardian, whoever is on lower HP, if you think they're noobs, in order for them not to get killed. Okay, as a sorcerer, as usual, all spells on the boss. Here, as you see, I'm using the first spell on one mob and the other on the other mob in order not to get the temper slow. Here, if you see the temper doesn't move towards the gate, stay like here somewhere on the corner in order for the mobs not to aggro on you, or if they aggro on you, they will need to move through the temple, and he will actually hit them and get them on himself. You can take 1-2 ticks, whatever, you can get even full HP. Now, make sure if someone misses the mob like this, you move very far away from them so you don't take them. Always, like with the gladiator's case, use the second spell on the mobs always when they are already aggroed for sure. Do not save DP. When you see that there are a lot of mobs, just use them. The DP, you need to be killing them everything as fast as you can if you want to make it properly. Now in this case I didn't use double DP without the boss because he just put the mobs here so I could use it on the boss as well. As you see, I did not attack until I was sure he aggroed. Also, do not preserve the fourth spell. Taking down each and every mob counts, because as I mentioned previously, all your AOS have limited targets, so one more dead mob means you're gonna hit one more mob with the other AOS. Of course, if boss is up, always target the boss with it. I do not like this for all of us to sit on the wall because it's very hard for the second person to avoid, aka the Gladi and the Sorcerer. Again, wait for the tempo to take the mini mobs.
Treasure shining bright in front of me. When night comes, I want you near. As I feel things will be so clear. Baby, you're the king and I'm your queen. Take the lead, tell me what.
Here, for example, I do not use the DP because there are not enough mobs for the DP to actually be that useful. Why? Because if there are 4 mobs, for example, and I hit only on them, it's just gonna do some damage, right? But if there are a lot of mobs close to the maximum of the DP, I'm gonna deal a lot of damage, and more mobs will die faster, which on the other hand means that those mobs will respawn sooner. So you can get that DP again much faster. Once again, careful where you sit when the mobs are up. Make sure the tempo aggroes whatever before you make huge hits. Now, as a sorcerer, it is extremely important that you avoid the damage skills. Now here the temper actually hit me, and that was a bit my mistake because the second spell is actually around the target, but doesn't matter. Like the sorcerer is, as I said, important that you avoid all skills because sorcerer has low HP, much lower than the Templar and the Gladi, and two skills are basically killing you. Just turn back. You, none of the skills is actually binding you to the ground, so you can move. Well, except the DP. Now, the most important skill, as I said even previously with the Bloody, is this. This spell must be avoided. You have time before the next verdict, whatever it's called. So, just use it to DPS, and that's it. And yeah, this is the DPS.